Hi YouTube, I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay. We might get interrupted. I'm kind of thinking yes, we're going to. It's been that kind of a vibe around here today for me. Anyway, so I am trying to get into my YouTube studio, and with my internet service right now, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get this uploaded, but I'm going to make it and then I'll upload it when I can, because we got a foot of snow last night, at least a foot of snow. There's still more coming down. I had gone out and I swept off the dish, the satellite dish, got the snow off it, and it was working pretty good for a while. I mean, I can sort of watch videos. They sort of start and stop and start again. And right now, like with this YouTube video, I'm going to try and load it again. It might load. I mean, eventually it's going to, I think. But yeah, I was watching Rabbi Simon Jacobson. He was explaining the holiday of Purim. It is, or if it's considered a holiday, the observance of what they call Purim and drinking responsibly. He went into detail. I mean, some of you might get this, what I got out of it. It's not as simple as this, but I'm going to put it in real simple terms. It's like when you're drinking, like it's sort of like with a higher self in a sense. You realize like the dark vibe of the whole thing, and you realize your normal state, and it's kind of like overcoming the two of them, and if I'm not mistaken, and it's so hard to explain. It's almost like you're responsible, but yet you're not responsible. I'm going to share it in my community. I mean, nowhere in the Bible does it recommend that people drink, but it does. They do have, I believe, in observance to kind of understand the differences between sobriety and non-sobriety, or I may be wrong. From what I got out of it, people could think, well, this gives me a license to drink, because it basically says I can't explain it like he did, and I don't know it well enough to explain it like he did, so I'm going to just put that in my community. If you're interested in what the Jewish people get out of the Bible as far as what it says about drinking, it doesn't say they can't, it doesn't say they should. It's just like, when you do, this is what you should do and how you should go about it, type of thing. And I pretty much can agree with what I got out of it. Another person, like I say, might find it like a license to be inebriated, when it really isn't what it's trying to say. Not that anybody shouldn't drink, because some people can drink responsibly, and that's that. Some people just can't. I'm gonna try and do this again. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, get in I'm in YouTube, and like now this just pulled up. For some reason, my studio doesn't want to get with it. I don't know why. I'm going to try and go in my history and see what it on YouTube and see if it gets in there. Doesn't look like it is. Maybe. I did make those biscuits and that sausage last night. No, it's buffering. It's just loading, nothing. So, yeah, they were really good. Tonight I'm going to make homemade salsa and make taco salad. So I've got lime juice and cilantro, diced tomatoes and onions and jalapenos, and that's what's going in that. Maybe a little salt and pepper. I'll see, maybe. We probably won't even need it. I'm gonna make taco meat that'll have a lot of salt in it, and then if we want to put it on a tortilla, a burrito shell, or whatever, we can have it. I got taco chips, the corn kind of chips, so that's probably what I'm going to have. So, and then lettuce and stuff on it, So, yeah. I don't know that it was a good idea, but when I used to go to like McDonald's and I'd get like two, just biscuit and sausage, not the egg McMuffin, but in a coffee to go with it, because I like the flavors that go with it. The sausage biscuit and coffee. So last night that's what I had before I went to bed. Not too much before, a few hours, but it didn't really keep me up too bad. I usually drink coffee like really even till about 10 o'clock, and it doesn't really bother me, So I don't have too much trouble falling asleep. I used to, like when I was about 30 and 40, I had actually even gone when my house burned down, that and I had other things disturb me in the middle of the night. I had problems like that sleeping because of not fear, but it was like almost like an alarm clock. It's like, oh, it's time for your house to burn down. And it was sort of in me for a very long time. So the same with getting bit by that brown recluse. It's not that I felt like spiders crawling on me all the time, but I do believe like I have a tendency to wake up when witchcraft is being used on me, and I can feel it. So, to put it bluntly. So, if anybody besides me is somewhat clairvoyant and you can see people doing things in your mind's eye, then you know what I mean by that. So, yeah. Well, this thing is still just buffering. But I'm going to stop it. I'm going to go in. I'm on a video, but I'm going to see if I can get in my studio from here. I couldn't before, so it's not even pulling up right now. The list for it isn't. Oh, I was watching Professor Vaknin had a video yesterday about like admitting your darker side of your nature, or your shadow, or things that like people. I swear he's convinced if you're like not if you're a nice person outwardly, you're probably not, or if you're like a giver outwardly, you're probably not, or if you don't have like homosexual tendencies, it's like latent, or if you have like a strong disagreement with their lifestyle, it's because you actually have those feelings within yourself. None of that I agree with, but he can, it's like painting me with your brush. How can you, I mean, yeah, they did studies. Sigmund Freud did studies, and, it doesn't mean just because, like, okay, for instance, Sigmund Freud's daughter was a psychologist. He was into psychiatry, psychology. So if they were in agreement on something, or if like 100 people are in agreement of something and one person isn't, does that make that person untrue? Does that make that person a liar? I have more to say on that, but in a minute here. um, because it's absolutely untrue. It's like, okay, what is my character day by day? Like if somebody knows me for 30 years or more, or all my life, and I'm basically a very passive person, peaceful, pretty happy-go-lucky, and then you keep poking the bear. Poke, poke, poke. In a little bit, I'm not going to look like that peaceful pacifist I was. That narcissist that kept poking the bear, then they're going to turn around as soon as I attack to protect myself. Then here comes that brush. Now, I'm the narcissist for retaliating. No, it doesn't work like that. You don't get to harass people and then say shame on you when they go there. If I go there, it took a lot to get me there, and you deserve every fucking thing you get, and it's not my nature, and then that doubly angers me. It still does not make my character on a day-to-day basis that of somebody that would try and draw that out of me. Correct? There. Made my point. So, not everybody is the same. So, and that's not latent or shadow or nothing. No, if I go there, it's going to be mean, and it's not a part of me I want. Don't bring it out of me. That shadow is easy to say it's a part of you when you know there's forces of evil and forces of good, but you don't want to deal within the spirituality of it all. You don't want to speak about God, so you can't go there. You can't tell me how I'm feeling in there because you don't have any clue. It's like the people, well, like Friedrich Nietzsche said, he wrote that God was dead. Well, if God's dead, then people can do pretty much what they want to do, right? Why would somebody write something like that? Either his faith that the Spirit of God wasn't working through him was lost or gone entirely because he didn't know any better. Or these people that say, if there is a God, I just hate them because of the way the world is. They don't want to see that they have the choice of free will. And this is how God tests our character. They would rather just either say there is no God, or the God that there is, that they have hatred towards him because he gave us the choice of free will on this planet. Now, whether or not you or I could stop another person from doing something evil, it's a possibility. But if you don't try, how would you know? If we just sit back and watch bad things happen in front of us, yeah, that's that other person's free will. It's also our free will whether or not to accept that in our lives, because we're also a part of humanity on this planet, the human family. You know. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Either there is no God, or they hate God because of the way the world is. And I think to myself, well, you might have had an awful lot of bad things done to you. Did God directly do something to you? Have you done anything directly to God? That would be my first thought. Not that you're deserving of any pain, especially if you're a little person and you had horrible things happen to you. I could see where people, I don't understand it because I've been through hell, but I can see where people could lack faith that there's a loving creator because of the way the world is. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. It still would take away free will if we had everything just perfect on a daily basis. I don't know. Might be pretty boring world too if you think about it. And if you believe that we are immortal souls, that God takes care of us, yeah, pain hurts when we're being hurt or beaten up or whatever. But I still believe that God's going to reward me for not losing my faith in those beatings. I believe that. Now, you could look at me and say, this woman's out of her mind. Well, for the creation that I am, even just looking in the mirror and knowing I have a creator, to me, your lack of faith tells me that person's out of their mind. That's how I view it. Now, a lot of people think that because of the way the scriptures have been twisted, and a lot of it comes from misunderstanding and rewriting and literary measures to do more harm in society, to twist words, to make it seem like something else, to go along with the agendas and the propagandas of, like, dual gender within one entity we call God. Of course, none of us can really prove a thing until we die, you know. But then you got to ask yourself, who is a person I listen to? Have they had God in their life their entire life? Are they new to it? See, I don't do this born again thing very good with people. I really don't even like the terminology at all. Because when I was a little kid and I'd do stupid things, I knew I was doing stupid things. I had a conscience. Are you conscious? Are you unconscious? You know, that's what God is. It's your conscience. How conscious are you to your environment? What's going on in the world? Are you aware of everything? Physical, the spiritual, the emotional, everything. So, well, I'm going to leave it here today. I'm still not getting in my studio, so I'm going to try and get this uploaded whenever I can. I don't know. Like I say, if you're going to poke the bear and it still doesn't bite you or scratch you or maul you, and you can be a very dangerous person until you poke the bear that you shouldn't have poked. You might not feel very tough under that situation because God has a handle on me personally. If I get ferocious around you and you're deserving of that, you could have a problem. Most people haven't, but some people have. And I'm not hiding. This is not a shadow. This is something. I don't want a war, but if you bring the war to me, there'll be repercussions for that. So stop playing with your mental, emotional bullshit. If you have a mental illness and it's been defined as something that I see as evil and you can categorize yourself as some kind of normalcy within this world, good for you. There's good and bad in this world. Do what you gotta do. So, all right, everybody. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace.